Hey, what's up, guys? Don't want to take up too much of your time, but I did want to release this just so everyone that's trying out kind of knows what's going on and has the info. Like it's a two-way street. Like we accept and reject people from the team, but also you see if it's a good fit for you. You see if it fits in your schedule, all of that. So I wanted to do this little call out. It's nothing fancy, not like we did in the fall, but just something to kind of get the taste of what club baseball is, especially if you haven't tried out before. But even if you have, there's a lot of new information. So I look forward to seeing all of you at tryouts, and let's get into it. So, who we are. We are D1 NCBA team. We're in the Great Lakes West Conference, and we're entirely student run. We play usually on average, about 25 games a year. This year it's probably going to be more like 35, um, 14 in the 14 in the fall, and the rest in the spring. So we're probably going to be playing about 21 in the spring. Who we play? So like I said, we're in the Great Lakes West Conference. So we play all the teams listed below, as well as non-con teams like IU. We played Western Michigan. We played Notre Dame. Might play Dayton, Ohio. And then when we go to spring break, so during spring break, we have a trip that we take a bunch of vans to in Panama City, and then we'll play teams all around the eastern half of the United States. So it also says sometimes a weekend tournament in the fall. That's something that I think next fall we are definitely going to be doing. So our tentative spring schedule. So right now it looks like we're going to be playing 21 games, like I said earlier, playing IU twice, March 8th at home, going to Panama City Beach, which is in Florida. It's about a 12-hour drive each way. I'll get into that a little bit more later. And then we get into our conference games, which are our most important. This is what gets us in the playoffs. We have 3 games against Northwestern. Better win all those. We have 3 games against Illinois State. We better win all those. We have 3 games versus Whitewater. And once again, we better win all those because we need to win all the games we can. Right now we're 7-3, 5-3 in conference, and we're trying to make a push towards regionals. After that, we play 1 conference game against Wisconsin, 1 non-conference game against Wisconsin. It's going to be in Chicago. Hopefully we can mix in something fun there, go to see a Cubs game or something like that. And then to cap off our season, we'll play Notre Dame twice on April 26th. That's not set in stone yet, but that's kind of the plan. So where we play. Our home field is Loeb Stadium in Lafayette. It's the picture on the left. We also practice there. Obviously not right now, but as we get into early March and especially April, we're definitely going to be getting back into practicing on that field. And then we have the T-Rec. This is where, the picture on the right, this is where we practice indoors. It's fine. We get work in here. This is where tryouts are going to be. You hit into that back wall. We have a mound there. Nothing's crazy about it, but, it gets the job done. But we are also going to Lafayette. I forget what the facility's called, but we're going to be going to Lafayette once a week to be doing a batting cage practice there. It just feels more structured in a batting cage. That's why I wanted to do that. And that's going to lead into our next thing, talking about our schedule, which I already kind of got into, but that's okay. We're going to have 2 to 3 weeknight practices. One of them will be at Loeb as the semester progresses. This year, we're doing 2 weeknight practices, Tuesday, Thursday. Tuesday at the T-Rec, Thursday at the Cages. And then we're also doing a Sunday practice at the T-Rec. That'll be 6 to 7:30. We also have a weekend series or tournament. We have a lot of those this year. I think we have 6 weekends where we play and spring break. And we have half the T-Rec for the one day and then the full T-Rec for the other day. It's actually reversed. The Tuesday one is going to be full field and the Sunday one is going to be half field. But that's kind of pedantical. Anyways, academic balance. You can be any major and play on the Purdue team. We have engineers. We have pilots. We have business majors. We have basically any type of major you can imagine. We've had some very interesting ones. My point is that club baseball won't break you academically. It's I wouldn't say a low commitment thing. I would say it's close to a mid commitment thing. It's something that you can do, and we want you to prioritize the team, but your studies should always be prioritized over club baseball. And we will always understand when something comes up, whether it's having to miss a practice consistently because you have a class, or anything like that. It's no big deal, and we'll handle it. Leadership opportunities. we have a bunch of different leadership positions. I'm the president. If you were at tryouts last fall, you would have seen the vice president, treasurer, and those are some of the higher ones. Usually, you have 2 years in the club, but any of those other positions are basically fair game. Fundraising officer, community service, safety officer, all fantastic, fantastic positions. We always need fundraising, and the community service officer will organize like trips and stuff like that, or we're doing potentially helping a bunch of kids learn how to play baseball in the Lafayette area. And then the safety officer, this is actually a very important job. We can have multiple safety officers. You get CPR certified, you get reimbursed by the club for it. So essentially, it's a free CPR certification. And you're responsible for filling out like health stuff when something goes wrong. I'm also a safety officer as well as the president. Service events. We have not done any service events this year, unfortunately. We are trying to get back into it. We're probably going to do one in the spring, and if not, we'll definitely be getting back into it this fall. It's not going to be required this spring, but it's something that we should note for the future, for sure. Other stuff outside of baseball. IM sports, we do them. We came second place in the Flag Football League, and we're playing basketball starting this Monday. So we will have already played 2 games by the time that these tryouts have taken place. But if you make the team and you want to be a part of it, I'm sure we're able to add you. We also do fantasy football brackets, March Madness brackets, that kind of stuff. And occasionally we'll do a theme trip. This is from 3 years ago. This is before my time, but would love to bring it back. That was during a Halloween trip, I'm pretty sure. Fundraising and dues. $275 for the spring. That $275 will include spring breaks, 6 nights at a beachfront hotel. It will include 21 games. It'll include 3 times a week practices. It's a pretty good deal. I don't know, unless you're playing varsity baseball somewhere, I don't know where you're going to get a better pay-to-play experience than with club baseball. And the reason we're able to offer low dues is because we have gotten great donation from the Purdue Day of Giving. So we were able to get big donations that have helped from some alumni, some other people that are integrated in the Purdue community have donated to us. We also get funding from club sports. I don't know how much we got from that this year, but I think it's supposed to ramp up in the next couple of years, so we'll see. And occasionally we'll do a restaurant fundraiser, the stuff you see on your Instagram, like mention club soccer at the Bryant and get 10% off or something like that. We'll occasionally do some of those too. All right, so now the important part, tryouts. Tryouts will be on Tuesday, February 4th at 4 p.m. at the T-Rec. I'll show where the T-Rec is on a map in just a second here. You can wear shorts. You can wear baseball pants. I really don't care. Turfs are fine. Tennis shoes are fine. Molded cleats are fine. Just no metal spikes or any shoes with metal tips. You'll not be allowed to participate. All you're going to need is a glove. But make sure you filled out that waiver that I sent on the tryout form. Some of you said you weren't sure that you did it, but you actually did do it. All you have to do is attempt to register Purdue Club Baseball and be in the registration queue. If you're in the registration queue, then you're good. I'm probably going to be sending out some reminder emails to people who weren't able to figure that out. You don't have to actually be accepted to the club. All you have to do is fill out the form and be in the registration queue. It's a liability thing for us. We're not allowed to have anyone try out that isn't a Purdue student, that isn't a current Purdue student, or hasn't filled out that form. So how tryouts will be run. This will be kind of player dependent. Right now we only have 8 people trying out. Might last an hour. You'll still get a ton of swings and all that kind of stuff. But it'll be a lot more lax than the fall tryout if you were there. It'll be stretch, toss, ground balls, fly balls, hitting, and pitching and catching. It's basically as simple as that. So if you are a pitcher, I know it's hard. I know it's freezing cold. I'd recommend having your arm at least somewhat warm. By that, I don't mean you need to be a giant throwing program. We understand that it's January and there's nowhere inside to throw. But maybe just find a guy to play catch with. T-Rec has open hours a couple times because you don't want the first time you're throwing in 5 months to be a club baseball tryout. But at the same time, I think that's that's what most people did in the past, and we take people from the spring tryouts anyway. So we're very aware of that situation, but we don't want any arm injuries or anything like that. So if you can, just try. So what we look for, talent's awesome, but commitment's even more important. I wrote this. I 100% believe in this. You know, in a high school setting, you're probably practicing 6 days a week no matter what. You're probably lifting with your team. Club baseball is not like that. We practice 2 or 3 times a week, and there's no lifting as a team. So we want people that are committed to themselves and committed to the team. Doesn't mean you need to be lifting 7 days a week or whatever, but it does mean that, if you have a care for baseball, if you have a care for your team, you keep yourself in shape, you come to practice when you have practice, just the basic things. We also want good teammates, people who support each other. There's many different personality types on this team. It's not about being in a clique or anything like that. I'm more introverted. We got sometimes guys on the team that are very extroverted and a bunch of other stuff. So it's not about that. It's just about being a good teammate. It's about being supportive of each other. And good teammates win championships. I've found that teams that bond and do well together, I think it matters more than talent. I really do. So that's key to us, especially because, we'll be spending 12 hours in a van ride to Panama City together. And then we're also specifically looking for a pitcher and a catcher. A pitcher because our Panama City Beach tournament has 6 games in 3 days. So we're always looking for more pitchers. And we just want another catcher. We have one dedicated catcher and 2 people who are willing to catch. But we really want to have another catcher to help lighten the load out. So tryout location, not the green circle. That's the fall location. The yellow circle in the T-Rack. That's where tryouts are. Right next to the co-rack. All you have to do is come out the backside of the co-rack and look for the giant building. Pretty simple. And if you have any questions, please email me right away, PurdueClubBaseball@gmail.com. If you have any stats you want to attach, if you have any video clips you want to attach, I look at all of that and more. So if you have any of that, please send it to me. And I really hope you guys have a fantastic day. And if you have anything you need from me, just let me know. And I'm excited to see every single one of you at tryouts. Thanks so much for listening.